Well, let's get started. So today's card is using the Painted Lavender set. And I'm a big fan of using our stamp sets not in the intended colors. So let me show you the papers that go with our Painted Lavender. So aren't these just beautiful designer papers, these patterned papers? And when we think Painted Lavender, we do think purples, right? And greens, whites, and I love that they put this crumb cake with it. And this is probably where most of the sets that you will see used are going to be using these colors. But I am a big fan of doing something different. And so with this set, I was totally inspired by a card from our Paper Pumpkin kit a few months ago. So Paper Pumpkin is like our subscription box service. It's a box that comes every single month with surprise crafting and card making. There's projects and cards. And a couple of months ago, there was a dandelion set, and this was the card that we made. Wishing you all the best, and it has this just beautiful balmy blue sky background with crushed curry and mossy meadow. And so I was so inspired by this card, and I thought, well, we could take this Painted Lavender set and recreate something very similar, but using these stamps and those colors. So today we're going to do a very simple stamping card. I know we can get very elaborate with fun folds and embellishments and all the things, right? But sometimes a simple card makes a great statement. So here is today's card. So you can see we have that balmy blue influence with some crushed curry, and we're kind of doing something similar with those Painted Lavender stamps. So today our stamps we're going to be using is these flowers here, the stems here, and of course we're going to be using those different colors. So let's get started on today's card, and I'll leave both of those there as our inspiration. So the first thing we're going to do is we have a balmy blue card base. Let me get this in frame here. So we've got a balmy blue card base. And we've got our white stamp pad. The other stamp we'll be using in here is this 2 butterfly stamp, because that's how the background that we're going to create today. So I've already got my butterflies on my block here. Let me open up my ink pad. So this is our white craft ink. It actually comes uninked, and so it comes with the ink refill and a blank stamp pad. And so when you get it, you're going to want to open this up. You'll squeeze a little bit of ink just in the middle. You don't really have to put it everywhere. And then I like to use a plastic spoon and just kind of and smooth that ink out. And that is how you ink up your white ink pad. Or if it runs out, you can always add more that same way. So we're just going to stamp, and we're going to kind of create this background here. See how it's all white with the clouds? And so we're going to do that with our butterflies here. And so we're just going to stamp them kind of all around the border of our card here. You can stamp off a little bit. One thing I love about this glass mat that we can get right now as part of the demo kit special, best deal in the book for sure, is this free glass mat studio with when you sign up. So what I love about it is you can stamp off. You don't need a separate paper. You don't need scrap paper for that, right? You can just stamp off if you need to. It gets on your mat, that's okay. You can just take your stamp chamois or any kind of cloth, wipe it right off, and now your glass mat is totally clean. Pretty cool, right? So that is our simple stamping. All we're using today is stamps, ink, and paper, and we're gonna create this lovely card. So if you want any of today's measurements on the cutting or any of that, remember I send that out in my weekly Buzz Bulletin. It's totally free PDF of all the measurements and all the step-by-steps to create the card each week. It's totally free to be a part of that, so just go ahead and click in the description. Make sure you're signed up for our Buzz Bulletin. You can also go to my blog at stampinqueenbee.com and find the sign up there as well. So we're just going to ink up our flowers here with that crushed curry. We're just stamping those in the middle towards the top of a basic white. Move that to the side, and we're going to bring in a little bit of mossy meadow here for our stems. We'll just go ahead and ink that up. Love these clear stamps because you can easily line everything up. Stamp that down. Move our mossy meadow to the side. And then one thing I did to kind of tie it all together, you can see all these little dots here on our basic white. And so I'm going to do that now. One of my favorite things to do is use our Stampin' Right markers. This is Balmy Blue, just like our paper. Love that color coordination. And I'm going to use that brush tip end, and I'm just going to flick some Balmy Blue all over. And it almost creates like a little bit of sky behind it. Makes it not so stark white. If you have any little boo-boos, what's nice is it kind of camouflages those. And so we've just taken that white paper and just given it a little bit of and then some, right? Then we're going to take some adhesive, we'll put our card together, and that is really how simple today's card is. And I think, you know, we take for granted simple stamping, right? And we like to get super elaborate, and sometimes simple stamping can be just, if not more, wowy than doing all the fancy things, right? So we'll just go ahead and align that. Love using that liquid glue because if you need a little bit of mushing it so that it can get aligned, that liquid glue is perfect for that. So we could glue this right down, or we could use Stampin' Dimensionals if you wanted to pop that up. I used Stampin' Dimensionals the first time, so this time I'm going to use a little bit more of that liquid glue, and we're just going to adhere this down. Just right in the center. Make sure we do it the right way, right? Right in the center there. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and burnish our score line here. There we go. And then we will go ahead and do our inside layer piece. So this is also basic white. So for this, we're gonna switch up the color of our butterfly. So just using our stamp chamois, we're just gonna go ahead and clean off the white on our butterfly here. So easy, right? And then we'll bring back in our crushed curry here. And we're just gonna put a crushed curry butterfly right in the corner there. We'll add some liquid glue and adhere this just in the center of the inside of our card. And how easy peasy is simple stamping, right? Love, love, love that. So we've got our card, we've got the inside of our card, and of course, the inspiration was our beautiful paper pumpkin from a couple months back, our paper pumpkin kit with all of those beautiful colors together. So I hope you enjoyed some simple stamping. I hope you'll mail out a card this week and bless someone's box with a little bit of happy mail. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.